Hey y'all, it's your good buddy Justin at Leopard Stripe. If you're old enough, think back to all the way in the early 2000s when GeoCities, MySpace were the places to be. And you actually had to use a little HTML just to function online. Everything was new and exciting. Everyone was a little naive to the internet. But remember what it looked like? It looked like this, like all kinds of loud, colorful, cluttered, decorative themes when you'd land on a page or profile. With raining hearts, cursors would change into anything. Your favorite song would autoplay for visitors. Decoration for the sake of decoration, because it was fun. There was nothing of utility about it. Same with early phones with all the different cases. The 1980s had a similar vibe about it. When MTV was new, these metal dudes and the women were over the top, not uniformly, but enough that we understood it was the zeitgeist until grunge came along and sort of dressed down, took away the decorative and ornamentation, and made it kind of look silly. And let's be honest, it is. There's nothing of utility to having ornate decorations of design to anything. And so when society is geared towards efficiency, those decorations are the first thing to go. I mean, food doesn't require seasoning and elaborate methods of cooking, but if we have to eat, we might as well make it enjoyable, right? In the early days of most avenues, there seems to be an embrace of bold ornamentation, and little by little that gets streamlined down until you've got the bare minimum. No frills, no BS, but not human. The early Nokias and Blackberries with the over-the-top cases you regularly see, and the Xbox 360s with changeable faceplates. Now they're all just sort of plain. And let me be clear, I hate it when people call like vanilla plain. Anyone who likes yogurt knows plain and vanilla are not the same thing. Vanilla is like the greatest flavor ever. There's nothing plain about it. I digress. Speaking of sweets, though, look at brands like Hershey, for example. Look at their first logo, how intricate. And look where we are now. You can see the same with like Budweiser, Apple, even Starbucks. Let's look at gentlemen's attire from the mid 1800s to today. The accessories that completed this look have all but vanished. Pocket watch, gone. Gloves, gone. Vest, gone. Spats, gone. Frock coat, gone. Top hat, gone. Cane, gone. Cufflinks, gone. Tie, that's on the way out. Don't get me wrong, I'm good with streamlining style, but if you were to integrate most of the aforementioned accessories into, this, you'd get confused looks. And as much as our society embraces streamlining minimalism, deep down we do love ornamentation. And this is never more evident than over Halloween and Christmas. It's the one time a year people feel like they have license to be as gaudy as they possibly want to, and they're praised for it. But the rest of the year, forget about it. Cars in general used to be works of art. Now they all look the same. Four doors, SUV, crossovers, trucks. I'm barely old enough to remember cars having little hood ornaments, but that little statue at the front of the car gave a feeling like a figurehead of a ship. People love to put stickers on their cars, but generally too many of them we kind of view as tacky, and not in every case though. Similarly, our fashion doesn't tend to call for much ornamentation either. So there's been a shift towards tattoos to display decoration. It's a more practical and efficient way of expression. But architecture is really one of the main losses here. Intricate designs and colors have all been replaced by boxes, shape stacks, walls of cement and glass. This is from Walter Gropius and the Bauhaus, which lean toward efficiency, mass production in mind over craftsmanship and artisanship. That's not to say it's not impressive. I mean, it's a play between, less of a play between ornamentation and architecture, and more of just engineering. I mean, look at this little shelter here, pushing the boundaries of understanding how to get the physics and engineering of this thing to hold this form, this shape without collapsing and crushing everybody. I mean, it is interesting, but it's this shift to just plain shapes over like any kind of like inlays or reliefs in it, something like that. And like the tech sector with its decoration in its early stages, the blandification isn't really uniform. In the 50s, you had the diner, which might be built in these flashy colors, chrome, a futuristic facade. Contrast this with another 50s trend, the motel, boxy, utilitarian, plain in nature, but they usually had some like fun themes and names kind of to go on top of them sometimes. So when a builder today or a corporation is building a space, there's too many factors that really excuse them from adding intricate design into their buildings today. Cost, offending someone, and someone like just stealing things. It's basically essentially, this is why we can't have nice things kind of in our society now. It's just, the efficiency and everything. And when there is public art, it's usually brutalist in nature. And it isn't really of anything. It's just an abstract sort of sculpture, nothing really intricate or beautifying or objective. I can remember the first time I saw Starry Night in its frame. You see the images all over the place of Starry Night. Before I really studied and understood art history in the times, I just knew it as the painting. So I was a little taken aback the first time I saw it in this like big gold frame. It was like this gaudy frame that it was in. So I was a little taken aback just because I was used to like modernist, sleek, these tiny, small, maybe sort of glossy black kind of little frames or something like I didn't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting like this this like wide gold thing, but that's what they had them in at the time. That was the time, this large ornamentative frames that all the impressionists, post-impressionists used their stuff in. Really everyone did at the time. Typically, I sell my work unframed, but I may start framing some stuff, especially since I'm less frequently using like a deeper canvas now, and I'm more using more like canvas boards and stuff. But when I do frame, I jumped in line here. I use more like more ornate frames, stuff like that. So if I'm framing a painting, then I will use something a little bit more ornate with it. Typically, I like to stay with like gold, black, white. Actually, I like the white ornate ones that I use a lot. So right now, actually, today's the 29th of December. So through December 31st, everything in my Etsy shop is 30% off. So check that out. And if you see one that's like a canvas board and you want it framed, just ask me and I will do it. Of course, I'll have to adjust the cost, because I'm gonna tell you, frames are expensive. I frame them myself, but they are expensive.